So Apple continues to unleash creative destruction across the corporate landscape. RadioShack today said its earnings will be lower than expected. It's cutting its buybacks. It's cutting CapEx, all because it's basically backed the wrong folks. It's not backed actually Apple, but it's tried to sell lots of Android phones. Stock is down 30%, Rob. This looks like yet another casualty.
It's just another disaster. I mean, well, the question has always been, what is RadioShack doing there anymore? I mean, you know, you go into RadioShack.
They sell you plugs when you go in and you don't know how to get your things working.
The thing is, you used to buy lots of stuff.
Yeah.
They used to buy your computers, you'd buy everything. Now people are increasingly buying tablets, they're buying mobiles, and what they're doing is they're making almost about half their sales are from this selling phones.
Right. So good. I mean, that's smart on their part.
Fine, yeah,
the problem is they back the wrong horses.
Well, the problem is that if you sell, they sell Apple phones and they sell Android phones. The problem, Apple phones, there's nothing there. You know, Apple takes all the profits. You know, after all, everything's been said and done.
So they've been pushing Lucky, Gold Star, Samsung products,
all
these things. Meanwhile, they're also with the wrong carrier, if you think about it. So they've got Sprint.
And Sprint is the one, the preferred one. And the problem is that people don't want to necessarily go with Sprint. You know, just because of coverage and other reasons.
I think it's worth just remembering. You know, RadioShack used to be the place you went and bought your color-coded capacitors to make your circuit board with and all of that. I mean, it's American.
Is that what you did in high school?
It has been known. But, you know, Robbie, you were saying there was a story in The Onion, you know, what is RadioShack for these
RadioShack
days?
CEO says doesn't know why company's still there.
Right. I mean, that was obviously a joke, but it's kind of, you know, so many of these electronic retailers, even Best Buy, everybody has to sell, you know, everything's disposable, so you have to sell the product with the cell phone contract or whatever it is. So they've been trying to keep going, and it is pretty amazing. You could say that they've kept going.
Right, they managed to squeeze more life out of a business that The Onion wrote off a few years ago.
The competition's getting harder and harder too. You've got Best Buy fighting over this, and you've also got things like Walmart doing the same thing.
Well, and don't forget Apple itself with its own stores, which in fact today they just hired a new guy to run the thing.
And even if they
ran Dixon's in the UK.
Right, and even if they are selling iPhones at RadioShack, if you think about it, you know, Apple sells them in the Apple Store with any carrier you like. The carriers sell them. You know, Apple's known for this tight grip on the contracting and sales process. You know, RadioShack's a middleman. Yeah. Complete middleman. It's not a store.
And it was great if you were buying the little pink capacitor, you know, 2 ohms or something. You couldn't get anywhere else. You can get an iPhone anywhere you want. So why?
There are no
go to
margins
RadioShack?
on that, you know, $4 capacitor.
And there's nothing left between Apple and the cell phone carriers. There's nothing left for the middle guy, even if you are selling it.
All right. Well, I'll look forward to reading your piece on that, Rob. And we'll be back with more Breaking Views tomorrow.